Old Trafford, polite inquiries. Pratik says, is Dhoni getting too excited on overusing Aaron? Does he need to learn a trick from Clark and Johnson? Look, they've only got 3 seamers and it's seaming conditions, and one of them's finally really quick. You're probably going to overuse them. Maybe he got away with it too because of the rain.
So I want to go back a bit. Are we comparing him to Mitchell Johnson?
No, the way he's used.
He's more Boris Johnson than Mitchell Johnson.
Paddy says, what can England do to combat what looks like a congenital weakness versus fast, short bowling? Bowling machine, question mark?
You know, good, fast, short pitch bowling.
Bhuvi Kumar.
Will always cause some problems, but
Yeah.
I don't particularly see an issue. Again, I'm a bit surprised by the question.
Would you like to go through them?
No, I sort of dismissed the premise.
You made a very good point today. I'm going to use your point. You said that Moeen looked like he was overthinking it.
I don't really think it's a serious issue with him. I may be proved wrong. I think he's overthinking it, as you say. I think he sort of doesn't... What?
There's a scar on your forehead.
Not that I'm aware of.
Like a little cross.
Go on, where?
Just here.
Do I? I don't know. I don't think people... Was that a polite inquiry?
Matt said, has Old Trafford shown itself unworthy of major tests, or am I sulking as I spent the day under a stand? Look, it's not good here if it rains. There aren't very many areas to even get away from the rain, as you saw when I came back in soaking.
Do you know what we're calling it? The fact that they had to come off because it was so wet? Watergate. I think that might catch on. The outfield looks awful. It does look awful. And they made the mistake, kind of a mistake, of using the soppers. They have 2 or 3 soppers here.
And that made it worse.
And it did make it worse, but you can see their point. They're trying to get things done for the crowd.
Yeah.
And actually what they probably should have done is leave it alone. But, you know, how would the crowd have liked it if they'd just seen the groundsman having toast and smoking cigarettes? You know what I mean? It would have looked awful.
AJ said,
What does AJ say?
has it ever rained continuously for 2 or 3 days in Manchester?
Has it ever?
2 or 3 years.
Has it ever been dry?
Nod the camera. Nod the camera, yeah.
Has it been dry for 2 or 3 days in a row in Manchester? Look, it rains here a lot. We're in the north-ish of England. It's where?
Satish says, should England declare straight away when play restarts?
No.
That doesn't sound like someone who's watched a lot of England anyway.
They're ahead by 85. Why would they? Why not bat in the first innings and, if possible, get a lead of 200 and try and make it a 3 innings game?
How many days?
5 days.
The Daniel Norcross says,
Norky.
why do ground staff never use blankets, sponges, spectators and pitchforks anymore? Or
Spectators?
Or a sodding tarpaulin. In Sri Lanka, they cover the whole ground. If the whole ground was covered here, we would have had play today.
Look, the drainage at the English grounds has been improved so much that actually it's creating problems with the pitches. It's England, yeah? It rains a lot. And so, I'm really surprised this is becoming a big deal. Watergate just isn't a big deal. Taken out of context, that's going to look really bad.
Kartik says, when Pankaj manages to take his first test wicket, what will happen next? The entire cosmos will explode. We'll all disappear into a black hole.
It'll rip open, but I'm not sure it ever will happen.
He's going to take a wicket before lunch tomorrow, as long as it doesn't rain. Jaina Paul says, Harsha Bogle, sir, who decides on whose session it is? Is it the commentators or anyone else? In fact, there's a pixie that lives inside every ground, and he comes out and he says who's won the session and who hasn't won the session.
Why is Harsha Bogle on that?
Jamie says, could they have moved the boundary ropes inside the clearly unplayable
I'm really confused by the questions today. It's like, I don't know if I'm really overtired or if the questions are all a bit mad, but you can't change the playing surface. That's kind of not fair. What does Mark Hooper say?
In this low-scoring test match, what is a good lead?
I think India struck back quite well, didn't they? England were hoping to get a lead of 250, 300. And
if they bowl them out with 120 or 150 lead, there's no reason why India can't score 350 and put some pressure on England. But it's a big ask for them to come back from here.
Maybe the pressure of the situation and a bit of a lack of belief against Jimmy Anderson in particular might be a factor, but hey, they can prove us wrong.
Alvaro says, Bearded Tit says, what's a good score with a drug bat?
It'd have to be high.
Jay says, what's the point of sending you my polite inquiries when you never beeping read them out?
Maybe you should
$, percentage, pound, asterisk, and the pair of you.
It's not that good a question though, is it? Let's ignore it. Move on.
Aravind says, does this question qualify on the basis that the word Atulia is used?
Atulia, we haven't heard from Atulia. How is it, 8 days?
It's been 8 days, Atulia.
Atulia, call us. Just let the phone ring 3 times. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to. We're here, Atulia.
We'll see you tomorrow.